And we're hot. All right. 372 crankcase. So I've got these not completely clean, but sort of clean. I've got these not. I'm gonna bring you up on the phone here. That way I can see what people are saying. Yeah, so I wanted to get these cleaned up the rest of the way, and then hopefully then we can actually put this thing together, which would be cool. Right. So let's get my roll lock wheel out. Four people here. Who's here? How we doing tonight? I'm still a little under the weather here. So I mean, my fever's gone. I'm over it, but I'm still not feeling 100%. You know what I mean? So not going to be intense tonight. You know? So what I want to do here is I've got these like sort of clean. I want to make sure all the metal's cleaned up so it's nice and shiny. I like shiny metal. Might as well put some of this away while we're waiting for you guys. Hey, Pat. Ready for another 372 adventure? Of course you are. I don't have any particular use for this saw, but I happen to have the crankcase sitting around. So why not? You know? What's squish? Don't do that to me, Pat. Killing me. There we go. That's pretty good. Hey, Jonathan's here. How you doing? I'm Brandon. Hey, Brandon. Any update on the 272, Jonathan? Have you got it broken yet? Hopefully you're working on it. Hey, Megan. You have graced us with your... yes. No, I was going through withdrawal symptoms. I'm serious. I hadn't been live in a long time, and I want to hang out. We're in a few more tanks through it. Doing great. Love it. Cool. Don't forget to do them bolt checks, you know. It really is a pretty slick piece. How do you like that the air filter on there? That's the knockoff one that they just did. I think they did a nice job with it. Bolt checks each time. Good. It's a good piece. Yeah, I think it's a good piece too. Yeah, that was my impression as well. Alright, so now that I've got everything cleaned up pretty good, now I want to clean the internals here with wire wheel. Here. I basically do the same process over and over and over again here on these 372 cases. The 372 cases that are OEM are nice, but kind of a pain in the neck because they're dirty. Hey Craig, Matt, I watch all your videos. I have a question. Billy at 575 would like to know if it's a good candidate for a base gasket delete. Yeah, Craig, yeah, that sounds great. Just do that. Guys, oh my god. Okay, so for those people that aren't let in on the inside joke, for those people that aren't watching from earlier, or didn't watch earlier, certain things get me upset. Certain things get me upset. And I got an email the other day, I'm going to belabor this point because it gets me upset. Got an email the other day, and I was kind of terse with the guy because just something gets me, you know? So the guy basically said that he's a big fan and he watches my videos, and he rebuilds saws, and he was wondering if a Husky 55 would be a good candidate for a base gasket delete. So immediately my lever was kind of peaked because I don't do Husky 55s. I think you guys know that. Hey Wim, how's things? So, you know, anybody that watches me knows that I don't do 55s, and my most hated saw is like a Steel 291 too. So there's a few things that I don't do, you know. But okay, so 55. So I asked him, you know, what squish is, and he didn't know what squish is. So immediately I'm kind of like, I'm just not believing that the guy is an actual fan of the channel. You know what I'm talking about? Like, so when you say to me that you're a fan of the channel and you watch my videos, and then you go ahead and tell me you don't know what squish is, then my initial impression is going to be that in the first email, in our first interaction together, you've essentially been dishonest with me. And I don't like that. That's what drives me crazy. if you're honest with me and say, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, what squish, where do I start, whatever, then I'm going to be nice to you. But if you're going to be dishonest with me from the start, I'm going to call you out on it. So that's what I did. And I felt bad about it. I really did. Still kind of, it bothers me. First thing you go through the squish. Good. Define crazy. It just, I don't like dishonesty in a first interaction. I don't like dishonesty anywhere, but it certainly, if you're going to embellish something, you don't make me call you out first thing. I mean, really? So, anyway. So that type of stuff kind of drives me nuts. Nope, it wasn't any of you. It was somebody who I had not talked to before. He had emailed me and told me they watched the channel and that they are a saw rebuilder. They rebuild saws. Thanks, William. Appreciate that. Gonna make sure the metal is nice and clean. Megan, I know that you don't know what squish is, but that's okay. We're not going to hold that against you. We hold everything else against you, but not that. All right. So shiny metal, shiny metal, shiny metal. Came home with a Max 610 from a friend's house. It's too late here to pull it over, but it doesn't work. Just wing it. Yeah, I like the winging it. Yeah. Let it rip, Dick. So I'm going to clean these surfaces again, or clean these surfaces, and then I'm going to take this over and wash the whole thing again. Yeah, nice and shiny all the way around. The rest of the dirt on here, I mean, you can clean it, you can not, whatever. I'll leave that to your standard of care, but what I'm doing here, this is again not exactly a Concord level build. Go get this another wash with some mean green, clean a little bit more. That way it's a little more clean than it is now, and I'll be right back. Have you missed anything? No, I was just giving another lecture on squish. All right, that's pretty good. Again, this ain't perfect, but it's a whole lot better than it was. Okay, and you can clean this as much as you like. Nice thing about the aftermarket cases is they're already clean, you know? get rid of some stuff we don't need. What was the lecture? You missed it. Yeah, liars. Yeah, yeah. Let's put it under dishonesty. Yeah. Yeah. Things that bother me. Do I need this? While we're in here, might as well. That one may not work. That might be for a 350. Which would not be preferable. Alright, I gotta look for bar studs. Great. Nice to put bar studs in before you put the crankcase together, but I wish I had something else I gotta order. That one might work. Cruddy if that. Oh, you know what? You know what I'll do? I'll just steal it from another chassis. Or have to steal it from this one. Yeah, how about steal it from this one? Ta-da. I'm hoping this isn't wallowed out like crazy. Does not feel like wallowed out. That's good. Just need to tap it in. And it doesn't have to be 100% home. It'll get kind of pulled home later. I'm just not that worried about it. That'll work. Use Scotch-Brite. Yes, I use Scotch-Brite Roll-Lock wheels to clean the surfaces. 2-inch Roll-Lock wheels, mega. Bama Mudmower, how's it going? Sorry, holy cow, all kinds of comments. Pat's gonna get his 372 cases back, good. I forgot to tell you the chain blade less touchy after some more usage. I think it's good. Okay, it's an OEM piece, so just let me know, okay, buddy? Should be good. 2 series chain brakes suck. Yeah. All right, enough dipping chickens. That's enough, guys. Man, just going to be a bigger basement. Yeah, well, remember the whole idea of the shed is that I'll have everything out in the shed, but okay. Hey Edwin. Edwin, did I miss a comment from you earlier? Forgive me. I was in transition earlier. You know. So let's see. This is pretty clean. I'm going to get a little bit of anti-seize here. When I'm pressing bearings in and out, I do like to use anti-seize on the surfaces. Don't need much. A little of this goes a long way. This just makes it a little easier on the bearings in and out. If you're doing these hot, then you don't need this. Yeah, the shed is not just the heater is not the issue. Yeah, I could. The issue out there is multiple. Mainly because I actually need a second shed, and the first shed was not intended to house all the stuff that it's supposed to be that it is currently housing. So, yeah. One of the nice things about 372s is I use 6202 bearings, both sides, which is something I really like about them, and it's one of the reasons I own the saw. Because it's pretty easy to work on, really. These are Nachi 6202s. Nothing exciting. It's just regular 6202s. They just happen to be open. If you happen to get them where they're sealed, just pull the seals out. Want them to go in straight. So we're pulling these in cold. Then you have to make sure that they're straight. Threaded rod, not washers. This is nothing crazy. This is not rocket science. Just some threaded rods, some nuts, some washers. Yeah, you're gonna pull on the PTO side. You're gonna pull this flush. Yes. And you can do it with the impact if you want. Up to you. Just make sure the bearing goes in evenly, which it is. If you want to do it. It should be smooth, like butter, you know? Matt, are you happy to have a genuine 372 to rebuild? Not necessarily. I got lots of 372s. You can do heat, you know, it's up to you. You can do it like Walt, you do it heat, you can do this any number of ways. One of the bottom handle, but yeah, yeah, that happens, especially if you use the wrong. A lot of people use the wrong bolt, William. Jonathan, why do I have the sense that the 272 is going to be just one of many saws you're going to have and demonstrate? Basically gets pulled in as far as it'll go. That's it. Building the collection. Good. Just let me know when you need more. I can always add to your collection. That's not a problem. Yeah, it is weird being on YouTube for the first time. I'll tell you that. It's a little odd being in front of the camera. Scott, should I buy a full 372 clone or a kit? Ooh. It's a fine question. I like building stuff myself, so I would build it. And you have my videos to kind of guide you. You buy one from Matt, right? You buy one from me. Now the thing with this one is you're going to pull this one in further. So you need washers that are smaller. Yeah, it's probably a fair question. Do you think you can assemble it without instructions? That's probably pretty fair. Will HL supply? I don't know. I don't see why they wouldn't. I don't know specifically. I don't have first-hand knowledge of that sort of stuff. But I don't see why they wouldn't do it, you know? Yeah, I may just use a socket here. Yeah, I figured that out. I thank you, Megan, for the tip again. Um, I messed that up last time because I had forgotten about what to do here, and as it turns out, yes, you really want the bearing to be pulled all the way in. I just happen to have a socket, but the idea is you want, yeah, so a piece of threaded rod all the way through and a socket. You want to pull the bearing in. And you want it to go in smooth, like that. If it's not going in smooth, if it's binding, something's going on. The whole thing apart. And your bearing's in. Beautiful. So no heat. You can use heat if you want, but there's no heat needed there. Yeah, there is a positive stop. It goes all, you pull it all the way. Both sides on this particular saw, pull it all the way. So the bearings are in, which is good. Definitely able to build it. Never owned one. We'll have to take a 372. Eventually, been waiting on the HL kit since early December. Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you exactly when it'll be in. But I don't see why they wouldn't have it, you know? I like building stuff myself, and during the whole process, you can swap out things that you might want to swap out. The first thing I would swap out would be that piston pin bearing. That thing worries me. So I would get an OEM piston pin bearing. First thing to do. And then, you know, you can do it up however you want it beyond that with whatever other OEM parts you might want. So this is a used crank, used OEM crank. Just checking the cage here for cracks. It looks good. It's nice and oiled. It's good. No issue there. We are slowly coming along here. Too terribly dirty. surfaces for the seals, I like to make sure that they're really well degreased. Really now what we can do is pull in the crank here, I think. Those holes are all fine. Pull the crank in, why not? So this is where I get to use my toolkit. If anybody is interested in my toolkit, they can just check out the live chat here. James has posted my my information. So the toolkit I'm going to use, I do sell. For most people, it's best to buy kind of like a what I call a main kit. It's $170 shipped. Most people benefit from having the main kit. Because you can do an awful lot of saws with a main kit. So, just the threaded rod, you put the one on that fits, you know. This is M14 by 1.25 on the clutch side. It should thread on gentle. None of this stuff is ultra precision. It does not need to be. Sloppy fit is fine. Sleeve goes on. Put the handle on. This is just a piece of 3/8 inch carriage bolt. Okay. There's no heat going on here, no cold. Don't have to heat something up. Don't have to cool anything down. All this is done at room temperature. You're not going to get hurt. Very important to me. Nut and washer. And now if you've ever done this process hot and cold, you'll actually appreciate significantly what's going to happen next. So this is completely controlled by you. You've got your left hand free, ready to rock here. Nut and washer with a ratchet, not an open-ended wrench, okay? This is different than the Husky OEM tools. You have to use an open-ended wrench. You can use a ratchet here. Hell, you can use an impact if you really felt like it, although I wouldn't recommend it. Crank this on down. You tap to good. Okay, great, Nikki. So the handle allows you to have this hand free to guide your connecting rod. And there's just not lots of pressure here. Does not need to be. Most of the chainsaws that guys are rebuilding right now benefit from this kit. So you just, that's it. That's all that needs. Gently back it off. Nut and washer come off. And those guys that are watching, that watch all the time, so you have seen this a million times. But now you've got the crank appropriately in the bearing, and there was no lateral pressure put on the bearing at all. There. Now we'll do the other side, and it'll be the same deal. And these rods are fresh off the machine, so I'll make sure that they're deburred. Now, there's a few other steps in here, namely, we need gaskets and whatnot. By strange coincidence, I actually have an OEM basket right there. That little O-ring, we'll put that aside. And the crank will not crack it, right? Yeah, that was a good picture, Pat. Pat actually had a really nifty picture showing a cracked crank lobe, and best I can tell, it's from using a press at the factory to press these pieces together, which I completely disagree with, by the way. Don't know why you do it like that, but that's how they do it. Because then it squishes the lobes together, and you can wreck it, you know. And who would want to do that? Okay, let's get some Loctite. Some blue thread locker. Put a little bit of blue thread locker in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 on the through hole. 6. Now I procedurally like to do this side first. And by the way, if you want to double check that you're degreased, you can. Now we'll be good. Peanut butter sandwiches at James' house. That's fine. You do not have to use goop. I do, but I'm sure there are a lot of guys out there that just slap the gasket on and go. And if you have a super flat surface, I'm sure that works fine. For me, I like a little bit of extra insurance. Now, I know that I'm going to put the gasket on this side. So that's why I do that side first and let it tack. Long span up here. That's fine. Efren, Matt need help with this BG55 blower. I have only done a few blowers. I have not done that many blowers. They're pretty simple, really. But I don't know what I can help you with there, man. Hey, Tinman. Is anybody here I missed? We're still hanging out, yeah. Positioners, very important. Those go in. I like to put the gasket down this side. Hey, Robert. Welcome back. Just getting to the good part. Kenneth, how's it going? So this is the good part here, gentlemen. Put the fuzz in there. Nice and clean. Bearings are good. Putting it together. Yeah, I just got it. Thanks, Alan. I don't know, a piece of fuzz. That stuff gets in there. Whoops. So this rod goes on. Now we get the handle. Sleeve first. Large sleeve. You can use a small one on this particular saw too, but if you use the small sleeve on a large saw with a 6203 bearing or bigger, it'll be a problem. And you can take up the slop with 10 turns of electrical tape if you want to. You don't have to. Whatever trips your trigger. Okay. And again, part of the beauty of this kit is that you can just use a ratchet instead of an open-ended wrench. So, gotta get the positioning pins just right. Who's not excited? Isn't this cool? Completely controlled. There's no hurry here. You know, you can go as fast or as slow as you want. Tim is excited. Good. The positioner's in. This is standard. 15/16. But I've got both. I've got both. Midnight. How's it going? Meg is excited. Love it with Edwards channeling good old Hannibal Smith. That's good. Little George Papard. That's it. Yeah, just under an inch, but that's just what this nut happens to be. The 5/8 all thread and whatever the size of the nut actually is. I haven't measured metric. I just know that 15/16 fits pretty well. So this whole thing comes off. If anybody's interested in the toolkit, they can send me an email. James has posted my email, so again, you can see no particular hurry here, okay? Now we're going to take our case bolts and run those in. There's one. I'll get there, Nikki. See, the thing is, are we pointing this 372? I don't know. The other one worked out pretty good, didn't it? The thing is, if it's stiff, it really means that the bearings are a little bit off one way or another. And frankly, I'm not that worried about it, especially if this goes through a heat cycle. Then I just don't think it's going to be as big of a deal. I know, duplicate it. Well, I need another 52 millimeter head, which I don't think I have. Basically, another cheap cylinder, make it good. May lose you all, gotta go. It's okay, Jonathan. We appreciate you hanging around anyway. Where'd the front bolt go? That's not good. Might have thrown it out. That's okay. I'm sure I got another. Hang on. Yeah, that'll work. Take care, Nikki. Go do your day job. Make money. Right, find more saws. That's the reason for day jobs. It's hard to leave. Oh dear, Nikki, I'm sorry, buddy. It's just a 372 crankcase. Don't sweat it. It's just not that big a deal. You can come back and hang out anytime, Nikki. You're welcome. Of course. So what's wrong with this one now? Nothing. Just tightening it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd say that's pretty smooth. Looks pretty buttery to me. Take care, Nikki. Right, what's more exciting than bottom end build? Top end build, obviously. So let's get some seals in here. Okay, Megan, settle down. It's just a bottom end build. All that this is. Behave. Okay, so let's measure this. What kind of distance we got? About 11 millimeters. About 4 millimeters thick. So I can put it about 7 millimeters down if I need to. Probably won't need to, but you could dream of buttery Craigs. Guys, I messed up. Alright, some Loctite 518 for seal around here. Use the Coke can trick. For those people that don't know, it's just a piece of Coke can. And it helps guide the seal down and over. And for those people that are worried about the aluminum can wrecking the seal, I have not seen it yet. It's just not strong enough to wreck the rubber. Just a piece of copper pipe here I use to set this down. Now what I do, you can get the OEM tool here that actually puts this in to an equal depth. But I've never needed it. I drive it right down to the edge of the bevel there. And now you can go, well, you can pull the Coke can out, just nice and gentle. Efren, yeah, the email is right here. But you have to get rid of the extra ampersands. Yeah, use one. One ampersand only. 4.46. 3.95. This side has to go a little deeper. Two four. 4.63. Just a hair more. That side. I like it by basically within like a tenth of a millimeter here. 4.54 is fine. I'm going to leave that right there. Nice and smooth, that's fine. Okay. Now go to the other side here. Actually, I have a bushing from this saw, which looks like it's probably going to be fine if I shine it up just a teeny little bit. Just going to use my wire wheel here. As long as there's no gouges this way, it's fine. Here, I've done this a number of ways, and you don't necessarily need to use the Coke can trick on here. I forget who I had the discussion with, but I think you can put the whole shoot together here all as one piece. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our little rubber O-ring and put that down. That's real important. You can just use your bushing here to press that down. Episode Matt polishes the bushing. Yeah, pretty much. So now if you don't want to use the Coke can trick on here, put the seal in the bushing to start with. Then you don't have to worry about it prolapsing the seal. Okay, rubber O-rings there. Tap it on in. Yeah, the O-rings are really small and fragile. Just make sure they're in the right spot, you know. And we just tap this on in. Make sure it goes even. Now you can actually tap it down from the sides with a bigger punch so that it is truly even all the way around. That's it. Nice, even all the way around. That is all you need. Ta-da! Would grease do the same thing? You can put it in with grease if you want. Oil, grease. I like 518 because it does tend to seal. But you could put grease internally in here, and the grease will take the place of the O-ring, yes. To me, that's at least a little bit risky, but I think Tree Monkey mentioned that's what he does. Hey, Mix, what's going on? Yeah, you can fill the joint between the bushing here and the crank with grease, slather it on down, and then pray that it seals, you know. If you don't have one of those rubber O-rings. Whatever. So, I'm going to leave this like this. I don't know when we're going to get to work on this again, but we have a crankcase that's essentially ready to go. Yeah. Loctite 515 and 508 are very similar, yeah. They would do the same job. Yep, I'm superstitious, so I use the O-ring. But I did like a dozen builds without it, because I didn't know it was there. I did an entire video on that, which was a huge apology. I see when the chainsaw guy packs a seal with Vaseline to hold the radial spring in place. Craig, I'm not convinced that it'll hold the radial spring in place. I'm just not. You can pack internally with grease, but I'm just not convinced that that's going to hold anything. The only way you can be assured that that doesn't pop out is either A, put it in the bushing already here, or use the Coke can trick. I've proven that you can use the Coke can trick and it will not prolapse the seal. There is a video of that where I actually tried it and proven that you go over a lip with the Coke can trick and it definitely helps. So really the only way to be assured that you don't pop out that spring. So I'd say we're good. I'd say let's call it a night. One other thing, let's open up. Put this over here and open up the 288 head. Might as well open up the 288 head, right? So I started a thread on OPE forum on this head, not because of bad customer service, but because I was kind of upset that it was damaged when I got it. The other head that I do have was indeed damaged. Let's look at this one. And indeed, there's damage on this one too. There's the... Let's see if I can show different damage than the other one. This one, yeah, it's in both spots. You have damage. Let me see if I can get a flashlight. Hang on, guys. Yes, this is a replacement, and the damage is on the plating here as well. It's not as bad as the other. You see that? But it's there. Oh yeah, that's definitely there. Well, this is very simply... Thanks, you got your message. Just waiting for your response. Okay, good. I'll try to email you later, Efren. This is very simply poor package design. They got a clip in here, but no clip there. So, while we're at it, I happen to have a third head. Let's check this one. Can I feel it with my fingernail? Yeah, probably. Yep, it's there. Yep, this one's there too. This one's got issue too. So I'm going to repackage this one up. There. I think this one's even less. But let's, where did my, no, 3 with damage, Mega. 2 more with damage. This one is not that bad. But just to you think something moves in there? That's a problem. That's the wrist pin. And it makes damage. It does. So I'm going to send all these back. This is the way they package them. I talked to Bob. This is the way that they do it. Oh, well. So, yeah, this one's definitely not as bad as the others, but it's there. I mean, the ding is there. 2 dings right where the wrist pin hits. Yeah, it's the supplier that's the problem here. They don't. This is improper packaging, as far as I can see. They shouldn't package it like that. Just make sure the wrist pin is. Yeah. Anyway, there you have it. I'm gonna say see you guys later, because now I gotta go address this online. This is KS. The cylinder is beautiful otherwise. So, oh well. But I'm going to go address this online. I'll say, everybody, thanks so much for hanging out. I do appreciate it. I will be back soon. Any updates, I will let you guys know. All that fun stuff. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Be safe.